Yo people, what's going on? We're back again with another freaking video, and this one here today is about Tess Holliday. And I tell you what, the other day Tess Holliday uploaded a post on her Instagram, and when she uploaded this, I was looking at it and I was thinking, and I made a whole video about it. And then I went to make a thumbnail, and then I just started seeing pictures of her from before and now, and I was like, something is troubling this woman deeply, but what is it? Which is why we're here today. So I did a little bit of digging here and there, okay, with a little bit of help at the same time too, you know what I mean? And this is basically what I discovered. So with that being said, shout out to every single person that is a member of the channel, and let's get into exactly what it is.
Them because my two youngest brothers live with my father, who I don't have a relationship with.
Did he talk about that in the book too?
I do, and my youngest brother he'll text me or message me on Instagram, and he's very supportive of me. He calls me Yaya because my real name's Ryan, and he couldn't say Ryan when he was younger. So I still talk to my younger brothers occasionally. My brother that's a year younger than me, we don't really talk. My family.
Now, let's do a little bit of background. So the background on Tess Holliday is that, well, her mother was shot and paralyzed when Tess was 10 years of age. Relationship with mom and dad hasn't always been great. And obviously relationship with Tess and her father obviously is non-existent. Siblings, some with dad, some with not. As you obviously witnessed there. So at the very beginning of this, I was like, okay, cool. So first and foremost, we know she's got a traumatic experience with her relationship with her father. She's got a traumatic experience with a relationship with her brothers because some of them choose to be with dad, which therefore stops her from speaking to them in some kind of format that would be more suited for herself. So straight off the bat, straight away, trauma's already hit her straight away. And at the end of the day, a lot of the actions that we make is generally due to something that we've been through, something that we've seen, something that's obviously been in our life in the past. Our past always molds our future, depending on how much control we take over our past. Some of us control our past and use our past as a tool to do better, while others use their past as a tool to continue harming themselves, and in some situations, and maybe, and most certainly this situation, to harm others. And arguably, maybe you can even say unintentionally. But let's get into the next part of that clip, and then we'll keep deep diving if you dig what I'm saying.
Family stepped in when my mom was shot. We kind of got split up. So I went to go live with my aunt. My brother went to go live with my uncle, and we both handled it very differently. I turned to food and like emotional eating, and my brother dealt with it his way. And that's why I think when a lot of people criticize my weight and my size, and that's why I wanted to put fat in the title, I wanted to destigmatize the word because that word hurt me a lot as a kid. But honestly, we all deal with stuff the best way we can, and sometimes it's not the best, and we're just trying to survive. And I don't feel bad about the fact that I ate as a kid to deal with the feelings I was feeling, because I probably wouldn't be sitting here today.
You see, this is the thing. This is the problem that I find here for Tess Holliday. I feel like she's got a past that she allows to conduct her life. Instead of trying to overcome the past and defeating, you know, all of those negative experiences, she rather use them in a way to keep going. I mean, look at it this way. She says that food was a coping mechanism. Food is the reason why she is where she's at now. But here's the thing though. If we look at the journey of Tess Holliday, so just physically, so this is Tess physically, okay? So this is basically Tess over the years. And, you know, she started off at a certain size. Don't know what the size that was, I couldn't find that. And then obviously as time went by, she changed as time goes by. I mean, but as time goes by, she's only got bigger. And the problem is that within that time, she's continued to use food. Food has a tool to where you can see her now. And at the end of the day, where she's at now physically, this isn't somewhere where you would want to be in general. But this is what happens when you don't take over your traumatic experiences. This is what happens when you don't control them for the benefit of yourself. What's happened is that she's continued to use food as a source of healing, because we know that she received so much criticism online, especially, and I can only imagine it got worse for her as soon as she became in the spotlight. And we know that every single day there's someone out there always telling her about herself. But the problem is that she never wants to listen, because The second that she hears the word fat, because she said it herself, the word fat triggers her. The word fat is a word that was never good to her growing up. So the matter of fact is, Tess Holliday is someone that is denying herself from going to get some therapy. She needs serious therapy, deep therapy. She needs a psychiatrist or something. I mean, we can sit and we can talk about someone like Tammy Slayton, talk about how she needs therapy, okay? And we know she does. But obviously, both of their characters are completely different. But even though their characters are completely different, they both still have the same problem. And that problem is being unable to pick themselves up to do better. The difference is Tammy puts the blame on everybody else and never holds accountable to herself. Tess Holliday now, she claims that all she's doing is embracing her size, embracing her beauty, which she is beautiful. Let's not get it twisted. But the fact is, the fine line between embracing your size because you're on a journey to do better, compared to embracing your size to then motivate other people to also embrace their size in a negative way. Because with her, it's all about love yourself, take care of yourself. Well, to love yourself, of course, you've got to take care of yourself. But we've seen with those images that she has not done anything to actually take care of herself physically. Yeah, she may wear the odd gym outfit here and there. Yeah, she may do, the odd workout here and there. But we all know that all of that is just for show. She knows it's just for show. But she'll continue living this lie to herself, a lie that she's then using to manipulate other people. And the manipulation, you could argue and say that it's not intentionally, or you can say it is intentionally because the manipulation comes with the money. She gets paid to be like this. But let's proceed though.
What I love about you and admire about you is like your confidence, and even like meeting you today, just knowing you off of like social media and knowing you off of your work, totally different than seeing in person. I'm like, you've got that like confidence in you that oozes. Like, how did you get to this point where you're like very comfortable in your own skin?
It's definitely been a process. It's not something that happened overnight. I still have moments, like I was complaining today. I've been like a brat today, my husband was saying, because like my face is breaking out from my facial and I'm like tired and like, you just have like moments where you're not always going to feel good. And I have to remind myself that like on these days where I don't feel good, it's not like me or my body. It's probably the fact that I'm like hot or that I'm tired or, I'm run down or like,
yeah.
like stress from kids or work. Like it could be a ton of stuff. And so instead of like internalizing that and making it about myself and my size and whatever, I try and remind myself that like there's nothing wrong with me and like I just need to be nicer to myself. So that all came from like modeling and finding clothes that made me feel good and having people around me to support me and understand that sometimes life is hard and sometimes I need to just take a chill pill and relax. But
Kinder to yourself. Okay? She talks about how it's not. I mean, listen, don't get me wrong. Obviously, when you have children, obviously you're going to get stressed. Your skin's going to break up for different reasons. Weight may not always necessarily be the reason, your skin break up for so many other things, But the fact is, though, in this conversation here, she is running away that her general health is a problem. She would rather focus on the fact that she's busy, being a mum, busy being a model, and that is why she's run down. But here's the thing, though. I'm not saying those things aren't the reason why she isn't run down, but it doesn't mean that her health isn't a part of that. The better your health is, the longer you can go for, give or take, depending who you are. Because everybody's different, to be fair, when it comes to, how long they can really go for, if you dig what I'm saying, until they get to that point where they are completely run down. But the fact is, though, any kind of question that she has in front of her, she will happily neglect that her health is always a part of a lot of the problems that she goes through. She would rather say that, well, no, it's actually because of being a mum. Oh no, it's actually because of traveling. Oh no, it's actually because of my job. So she's happy to throw everything else under the bus. Sadly, it's even being a parent is one of those things which is so sad. Rather than identify that despite all the things that she's throwing under the bus, there's still always there's still always the main thing, which is always going to be her health. The better her health is, maybe the better those other situations can be. I do wonder though. She's got kids who are, who are slim themselves and are very active. I do wonder though, how long, you know what, let me change that. I was gonna say, I wonder how long she can have fun with them until she gets tired, but let's forget that. I wonder what age her children are going to be when she's bedbound. I wonder what age her children's gonna be when she's no longer here. I wonder if she's even gonna be here for her own grandchildren if her children decide to have kids. Because the matter of the fact is though, she can talk about all these things, but the grand scheme of things is that she's slowly damaging herself, slowly dying in front of our eyes. And the saddest thing is that, you know what, let me put a different flip on it. There is a traumatic experience that she's been through with her own parents. Mum was shot, paralyzed. Dad, boom, don't even talk to him. She's got siblings that some she talks to and some she doesn't even talk to at all because of the parents' situation and anything else. But both her parents are still alive, right? So she still has the option to potentially mend that relationship with father if it's mendable, because not everything is. But here's the thing though. If she lost her life in 2022 and didn't make it 2023, her children, they won't have the option of potentially mending, or well, they won't have the option of both parents. It's completely dead at that point because one of them is completely. Do you see what I'm saying? DEAD. These are the things that she's not put into place. The fact is, I always say this. If you're someone, like myself in particular, who has a childhood that wasn't necessarily the greatest, who's in a position where you don't necessarily have both parents, understand this. When you have children, it is your responsibility to not make the same mistakes your parents did. You can make the same mistakes by doing different mistakes, but if the outcome is the same that you had, then the mistakes are the same. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Okay? Obviously, her behavior isn't the same, but the outcome will still be this, if not worse. I'll let you process that. I'm pretty sure that made sense. If it didn't, then it is what it is. But let's proceed.
For me, it was tough growing up too, because I always felt like I had to look a certain way. And when I was younger, I dealt with certain eating issues just because all you saw in the magazines were people were a certain way. So I'm so happy that my daughter is going to grow up in a world where you don't have to be a certain size, certain age, certain
Yeah. It's important just to see, like I said, representation, visibility, diversity. I get a lot of crap because people are always like, you're fat and you're telling other people to be fat. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm telling people to love themselves, because if you don't love yourself, then your life's going to be so much harder. So why not?
You've talked about that. People are like, you're promoting unhealthiness. You've talked about that.
Yeah. So in my book, I have what we call Tess Holliday's advice for life. And they're funny things I've learned and some serious things I've learned. And there's one of them that says, saying that I promote obesity, saying Stevie Wonder promotes blindness. So really, I'm not recruiting people to be fat. I'm not selling Tupperware or anything like that. I'm just telling people, love yourself no matter what size you are, because once you love yourself, that means you take care of yourself in whatever way you can.
First and foremost, Stevie Wonder didn't choose to be blind. Ray Charles didn't choose to be blind. First and foremost. So there is no comparison at all. That is the most stupidest thing I've heard in my life. But this is what I'm trying to say to you guys. Tess Holliday is in dire need. She needs serious mental health, because she's got to a point where, bear in mind, this was in 2017 this happened. But we're now in 2022, and this is still happening. She's still coming out with ridiculous things. Anorexia. The matter of the fact is, Tess Holliday is someone that is hiding from herself. She is hiding from going to see someone, or just hiding in general from just opening up to herself, maybe, privately, and saying, you know what? This is the damage that has happened to me throughout my life, but how can I use it to actually better my life and inspire other people? How can I do that? But instead of doing that, she's doing the opposite. She's like, this is the damage that's happened to my life. I got so much things to get off my chest. Let me get it out of my chest. Then she gets it off her chest, but then doesn't understand that getting off your chest is the first is the first process of letting it out. Once you let it out, you then figure out, now what can I do with this? What can I do with it to do better for myself? That's the part that she isn't doing. She's more like, how can I use this so I can just protect myself from my demons? So I can keep running away and never actually conquer the issues. She's not doing that. That's why it's easy for her to come online and say, hey guys, love yourself no matter what. And that is a statement, that's a statement that I don't disagree with, but I disagree with it within the context that she is trying to use it in. She may deeply seriously believe that she's not influencing anyone to stay obese, to stay overweight. But the fact is though, the proof is in the pudding when you look at her visually. And I hate to use people's visual aspect, but when you look at her visually, she has done nothing but, as you can see, continue getting bigger over the years. Bear in mind, that picture there was last year, 2021, I believe. Understand, she's bigger now in 2022, which is why I say, is she even going to make it to 2023? What age, in fact, will her kid even be adults by the time she potentially passes away? Because she still hasn't confronted the biggest problem. The fact is, yes, she wanted to be a supermodel. Fantastic. She did it. You know, there is nothing wrong with her being a supermodel in terms of opening the door up to other people of other sizes to be in it. There's nothing wrong with that. What's wrong with it is that she's taken this and then she's continued to make it worse. You see what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, she started as an inspiration to say, love yourself. But what she didn't do is love yourself and improve yourself. She said, love yourself and keep messing yourself up. Because that's what we've seen from her. Can somebody tell me, what has she ever done to improve her own life? And from what I understand, she's no longer with her partner no more neither, right? I'm not saying that has anything to do with anything, but I'm saying that there is a pattern in her life of, sadly, destruction to a certain degree. There was a pattern that no matter what she thinks is doing that's correct, in reality, everyone else is being harmed. We're now in a position where you get someone like Lizzo who is now following the same bandwagon. Ladies and gentlemen, this is just my own. Just so you know, my deep dive wasn't based solely on just this video. There is other information that I did also research first, which allowed me to get my context out for this video properly, if you dig what I'm saying, okay? But just based on this video itself alone and everything else that I've said in this video, based on the things that I've read up about her and researched about her, the matter of fact is, Tess Holliday's biggest enemy is Tess Holliday. And the saddest thing about it is that she believes, for some bizarre reason, she's out here doing good in this world, when in reality, she's only doing bad in this world. And to make it worse, not only is she doing bad in this world, that affects her, but it's affecting other people who have the same mentality as her. You know, those people that have the same mentality as her are the same people that she's supposed to be saving. But for some bizarre reason, she thinks that she is. Coming on camera, year in, year out, day in, day out, month in, month out, minute by minute, and showing the world that you're getting bigger and bigger, just ain't it. And let's keep it 100. The fact that, you know, she even uses Photoshop as well sometimes doesn't really help. Because when you see the reality of her with Photoshop compared to when you're not, it's like, sis, you're not looking after yourself. And you're not loving yourself. She can talk about loving herself, but she doesn't love herself. Who am I to say that she doesn't love herself? I tell you who I am. I'm me. And I'm telling you that she does not love herself because she is denying herself from the real problem. You can only love yourself when you actually attack the real issues that you have based on whatever you've been through in your whole entire life. If you're not ready to battle those issues, if you're not ready to look at them in the eye and say, yo, this is what we've been through. Now, what the hell can we do to make sure we do better? What can we do? That is what people are supposed to do. If Tess Holliday wants to motivate other people, she should be saying to them, go to the mirror and confront yourself. Because at the end of the day, no matter what we've been through, the only person that can fix them is you. No one else. Tess Holliday's never gonna say those things. One, because she's failing to fight her demons, and two, and this is the most disgusting one of them all, because her life is monetized being her size. And that is the saddest part about it. And I can promise you this now. It doesn't matter how much money that she earns, and it doesn't matter how much money that she leaves behind for her kids. Her kids would always prefer her alive rather than all the money that she's going to leave them in the will when she finally loses her life, because, well, earlier than she's supposed to. 35 years of age. Tammy Slaton is 35 years of age. Obviously, the size difference is completely different. Don't get it twisted. But I'm just saying, it's a madness. Thank you for your time. Like, subscribe. Peace.